So I'm starting lecture number 4 of mechatronics. Three, 4 students have came. I will admit the students as they are coming. Okay. So this is lecture number 4, Introduction to Sensors, and in this lecture we are going to see force sensors, that is force transducers, different kind of force sensors and pressure sensors we are going to see in this chapter, in this lecture. Sorry. So normally forces are measured by measuring displacement that has been developed in that particular phenomena. So we are going to use strain gauges, and very commonly used form of force measuring transducer is based on the use of electrical resistance strain gauge. So the to measure the force, the strain produced in some member when stretched, compressed, or bent by application of force should be monitored. In this case, what we are going to do? We are going to apply some strain gauges in bridge format. This is a series and parallel format, and with the help of actual change in resistance, we can calculate the force acting on that particular part. The different types of force sensors are: first, that is strain gauge; second one, that is diaphragm or bellows; third, that is bottom pressure gauge; and fourth one, that is a tactile sensor. Tactile sensors are used in robotics application right now in this time. So tactile sensors are also important. So now first thing, that is strain gauge. The strain gauge nothing but it is a passive kind of transducer in which electrical resistance variation will be sensed with the help of the Wheatstone bridge. And this if there is change in a length of that particular strain gauge, then you will get change in resistance in that particular object, and it is very easy to detect. And the transducer for measuring weight, pressure, mechanical forces, and displacement is like this. So strain gauge is nothing but it is a wire type of strain gauge or foil kind of strain gauge. This wire or foil, if there is a force acting on that particular wire or foil, then there will be change in the resistance. We know that as length changes, length increases, there will be change in resistance in the same manner, because resistance is directly proportional to length. Okay, so this is actual strain gauge applied in industry right now. So if it has been compressed, the length will be decreasing and resistance will decrease. If it is elongated or tension force is given, then there will be increment in length and resistance will be also changing linearly with that. This is particular Wheatstone bridge. Yesterday also we have seen Wheatstone bridge example, because we know that if three resistors are fixed and one resistance is changing, then there will be output change, and that output change, if we can calculate with this formula, that is R4 upon R3 plus R4. This is R4 divided by R3 plus R4 minus R2 divided by R1 plus R2. So output voltage will change, and you will get the actual force related to that particular change in resistance. This is an example in which we can calculate the forces acting on that particular Wheatstone bridge. Now, the next, that is fluid pressure sensor. The fluid pressure sensors, I'll just minimize this. Yeah. Types of fluid pressure measurement: absolute pressure, differential pressure, and gauge pressure. We have seen in fluid mechanics all these type of pressures, and some pressure gauges also we have seen. That is diaphragm kind of pressure gauge, then capsules and bellows that are very useful in calculating pressures in fluid mechanics. Okay, so when there is a difference in pressure between two sides of this diaphragm, then there will be displacement of that particular diaphragm, and if we'll apply the strain gauge on that particular diaphragm, then you will get exact pressure on that diaphragm on other side. So this type of diaphragms are normally two types of diaphragms are used: flat and corrugated. So in case of flat diaphragm, it is easy to install the strain gauge. In case of corrugated diaphragm, we have to use a bridge, Wheatstone bridge. Strain gauges are used with diaphragm movement to measure the pressure. Specially designed strain gauges consisting of 4 strain gauges, with 2 measuring the strain in circumferential direction while 2 measure the strain in radial direction is often used. These type of diaphragms are used with the help of strain gauges. Now, second, that is capsule or bellow. This is bellow. Bellow, उशी सारखं असतं मराठीमध्ये आपण म्हणतो. And capsule, it is just like a capsule. Okay, so capsule can be constructed as 2 corrugated diaphragms, and it is bellow is a stack of capsules which result into more sensitivity. So if I use more capsules in series, then there will be more sensitivity in that particular pressure gauge. Bellow and capsules can be combined with LVDT to give a pressure sensor with an electric output. So we can combine these bellows as well as we can combine it with LVDT. So you will get the combination of both. Getting? Pressure in the range of 10⁻³ to 10⁻⁸ Pascal can be monitored with such sensor. Now the last one, that is a Bourdon tube pressure gauge. We have seen in fluid mechanics. It is available in our fluid mechanics laboratory, Bourdon tube pressure gauge. In Bourdon tube, it is an electrical cross section of a tube in which if the pressure is increased, its curvature will increase. And when such tube is in the form of C-shaped tube, it will be changing its you can say shape, and it will give a big curve. A helical form of such tube gives greater sensitivity. If it is been in helical type of thing, then it will have more moment and it will give you accurate reading. They are used for pressures in the range of 10⁻³ to 10⁻⁸ Pascals. And you can see here LVDT has been connected with this to actually sense its displacement. So it will be again helpful for calculating your pressure. Now the tactile sensor. This is used just now. I have told you that is in case of tactile sensors. These tactile sensors are used in fingertips of robotics. So robotic hands will be, you can say, application of this tactile sensor to determine when the hands has come into contact with the object. So if the hand of a robot is came into contact with particular object, then it will show you the reading on that particular screen, and where physical contact has to be sensed. In these cases, you can sense the physical contact of that particular two bodies. One form uses piezoelectric polyvinylidene fluoride (PVDF) film, or you can say in your mobiles also there is a sensor which is called as inductive sensor. That kind of things we can use in fluid pressure sensing. In this case, two layers of film are used with a third layer of soft film, which will transmit vibration separated them. The lower film has AC voltage that causes mechanical vibration, that is reverse piezoelectric effect. The intermediate film transmit these vibrations to upper film, causing definite AC voltage to be produced, and the pressure is applied to the upper PVD of its vibrations are affected and output voltage is changed. Now, liquids flow sensors. The same sensors are there in fluid mechanics also. We have seen these liquid flow sensors, which are called as orifice meter and venturimeter, etc. They apply Bernoulli's equation, which we have seen in fluid mechanics. The same Bernoulli's equation, which tells us that fluid flow, a mass flow rate is same throughout the tube. This is orifice plate. We know orifice plate is nothing but one you can say washer kind of thing. And a turbine meter, it is a multi-bladed rotor which rotates due to the flow, and with the help of that particular speed of rotation, angular velocity, we can measure the flow of that particular fluid. This is construction and working of that particular turbine type electromagnetic flow meter, in which this is pickup point in which you can calculate its angular velocity, and with the help of angular velocity we can calculate its flow rate. Similarly, these are the workings, turbine meter and schematic of electric signal, how electric signal is generated in that particular turbine meter. Now the actuators, there are four types of actuators: mechanical actuator, electrical, hydraulic, and pneumatic actuator. So in this lecture, we are going to just introduce you the actuators. The actuators are like in mechanical, it is mechanism of linkage, gears, pulleys, or belt. In electric actuators, we are going to see solenoids, DC motors, AC motors, and three-phase motors. In next lecture, we are going to see these motors and how these motors work. In case of hydraulic actuators, these are hydraulic cylinders and motors, which we are going to study in HPN, hydraulics and pneumatic subject, and pneumatic actuators also in HPN subject. So in case of your mechatronic syllabus, we are interested in electrical actuators, that is SV, solenoid valve, DC motors, AC motors, and three-phase motors. So SV, how SV works, we are going to see in this lecture, and the next part will be in next lecture. So SV, our solenoid valve, it consists of one core and one coil, and one there are switches associated with that particular solenoid valve. If this spring has been in tension, and if it has been moved towards plate, there will be change in the SV, and you can get on off of that particular flow. Solenoid valves are used in you can say regulation of fluid flow, regulation of pneumatic flow. These kind of things we are going to use. That is, if I'll switch on the button, this plate and this SV will match to each other, and there will be no flow on that other side. So these kind of things are used for flow controlling, or you can say restricting flow from one side to another side. So this is called a solenoid valve. This application in hydraulic and pneumatic for control of directional control valve. So this directional control valve concept you are going to see in hydraulics and pneumatic subject, and you'll get the idea how the directional control valves actually works with the help of solenoid valve. We are interested in how this solenoid valve is actually working. If power source is on, there will be magnetic current produced in the solenoid valve, and it will get pulled towards the plate and it will restrict the flow of the fluid. If anyone has having question, please ask me. I'm pausing the. We'll meet again in next lecture. Till then, thank you very much for attending this lecture. I'm Sachin Kodkar signing out.